Hey folks, it's Rithgar here, how you doing? Welcome back to Gold Rush. Now today I would like to do a little bit of digging and we're going to run some stuff through the plant over there. Several people would like me to run the tailings back through the plant again. We've already done that once, but you'd like me to try and do it again. I am actually thinking that we might try to use a wheel loader to do that. Now, not this one. This one seems to be a little bit bugged, if anything. So I'm actually planning to move this one to a different claim. So what we're going to need to do first is we're going to need to get a load of cash so that we can buy a second wheel loader, and then we'll be able to assign a new worker to the new wheel loader, and that one we'll then use to move the tailings. And all we'll do is we'll gather up the tailings that are down the bottom and we'll run them up round and tip them into the place where we've been tipping this one. It might be the better way. I mean, we could just park this one up the top and or park this one nearby and then run it through. So we could just do it like that. Nope, I want to go back this way. And then I want to go into here. There we go. I'm going to go through that one and then into this one here. This is where I want to go. I'm going to try in-cab for loading this first load. I don't know if this is going to work. I have no idea if I can do this or not. Probably not, to be fair. But we will do our absolute best. So let me just bring that one over there like that and bring it in round. I'll tell you what, though. We may be able to do this. I may be able to get it to work. I don't know what it's going to look like afterwards. I mean, for me, I've got some grubby windows, but I can see reasonably well. So I'm not sure what it's going to be like on the video. Because it does... You do tend to lose a little bit of quality, don't you, with YouTube... The way that YouTube works. I can have like absolutely spectacular quality and it will still reduce it during the upload and so on. And I'm not really sure why they do that, but yeah, it's something I'm aware of, and it's something I would like to try to be able to fix because it does affect some of my videos more than it affects others. But right now I can't really do a lot about it. I've sort of done the best that I possibly can with what I've got to hand, and until I can actually properly record in full 4K, this is about as good as it's going to get. Anyway, we don't need to worry about that. For most of my videos, it makes no difference whatsoever, and it's only a few of them that you get some issues with the current recording situation. So yeah, we're going to do this. I would like to get a new wheel loader, and then that one I think we might use to do the tailings, and we can get the tailings, we could put them into the plant and get those washed through, because they do actually give us gold. Whether they're supposed to or not is besides the point. They do actually give us gold. Last time we did it, we got quite a little bit of gold actually in the buckets from down the bottom. We didn't get anything in the mats, but whether we get something in the mats this time, I don't really know. If we do, you know, ideal, because I think now the mats you actually get a bit more gold than you used to. So it's I think the mats are supposed, they've sort of switched it round a little bit, so the mats are the really profitable bit, whereas the buckets under the duplex jig they are profitable, they're just not as profitable as they used to be. So we will take a look at that. We're going to do some digging today, and then possibly we'll do a little bit more digging tomorrow. I'm not quite sure yet. I haven't really decided how things are going to pan out for the week. But what I will do is we'll dig this today, and then I will... we're going to be swapping some buckets around, because I think we've got one load now for the buckets to fill up on the duplex jig. I think it's 3 dumper loads to fill the buckets on the duplex jig. And then once we've done those 3... we need to swap the buckets over so that we can put, you know, obviously we can keep catching everything that goes through them. And so we'll stash those down next to our wash plant and everything. And then once we've done that, we're going to keep going until we've at least filled the mats up. I would like to fill the mats up just once, because we've never done that yet. I've just wasted a load of dirt there, I think. Well, it doesn't waste, actually. It just drops down through, doesn't it? We put that one. This is actually quite easy. Doing it from in-cab, this surprises me. This particular dig right here, it does seem to work fairly well. I will just switch the engine off before I change over, and I want to go to that one and then into this one here. And let's go. Now, we do have to be careful that we don't slide in off the side. I really don't want to do that. If we do slide in off the side, I will do my best to try to rescue the vehicle without resetting it, although I'm not saying I won't reset it. I'm just saying I'll do my best to do it without it. Because if I say that I won't, we could end up being here for like 6 episodes trying to drag this thing out of that pit. And I don't really want to do that. And you probably don't really want me to do that either. It's just going to be really, really dull to watch. So let me back this one up there. And it's kind of the right place-ish. It slid downhill a little bit. Hopefully they're still going to tip all right. Yeah, it seems to be. It should get to about 80% in the thingy there. 89% now. They've either changed the way that the quantity goes into there, or they've made some other alterations. Not sure. Maybe we take a little bit more in the dump truck. That would actually be really cool if we're able to carry a little bit more in this thing. Right, let me stop that one a minute. Handbrake's on. Oop. Mouse is a little bit sensitive. Right, so the next task we want to do is we want to start everything up. Now, we need to start it up backwards in order to make sure this runs properly. I want it to go back through and not forwards through. So I've got the duplex jig there, and the pump here, actually, we start that one up just like that. That starts up by itself. So that one pump is actually going to power everything, and the only issue we've got really is that one pump there doesn't get a huge amount of fuel, but everything is being powered. There's water going to everything. So I want to do the duplex jig first. Let's come into here. So I've got down here, I've got the duplex jig. So I'll start that one. And then I want the... I don't want the power splitter. I want the shaker. And I want the trommel. And I want the conveyor belt and the conveyor belt container. I don't know which way around those are. But they're all running, so that's the important bit. They're all running now, and they will all run down through there. That one's going, and then the duplex jig should be running as well. And thank you very much to everybody that pointed out my little mistake that I made last time. Now, what I've done here is I've put a whole load of these buckets, because we were getting this message, bucket full, and I thought it was the... I thought it was the shaker up there. It was too much dirt gone into the shaker, but a few people thought that maybe it was these buckets down here underneath this side. Some people have said that you can use the duplex jig. You can put another one underneath there. I don't know. I don't think you can. There's certainly nothing that you can lock it into place with. Whether that would actually work or not, I'm not really sure. But yeah, anyway, there were quite a few people that pointed out that we do actually have a button on here, right on the end there. That one there is the master stop. So I can stop that one, and that will switch off everything. I don't have to start them all up, stop them all individually. Start them all up individually, but I don't have to stop them all individually, which is absolutely brilliant. It does make life a little bit quicker and a bit easier. You don't. A lot of people agreed with, yeah, bucket is full. A lot of people agreed with me that lights on the inside to indicate whether they are actually on or off would be really useful. But, you know, I don't think it's kind of the end of the world or anything like that. So let's just take a look down through here. And no, there's no difference here. We've still got just the one with the water in. That is at 94%. And it looks like everything has finished running through. So 94% is as much as I want to put through this one. So I'm going to come over this side, and I'm going to grab some of that sweet, sweet pay dirt. Bring that over to here. We'll drop that one down there. These are the ones that need to go through the magnetite separator first. So I'm going to put a collection of these over this side here, as long as they don't go anywhere. And I'll grab that one. Empty one there. Pop you in underneath. And then I'll take the next one there. Take that one. And we'll put that one up right next to it. There. So we can get 3 more loads. And that will make that one up. So we can put him in there. We've got a little bit of magnetite in this machine at the moment. We don't have a load of it, but we've got a little bit. So just put that one there. Right. That's ready to go again. And I'm just going to leave it all running, just to sort of see today what it kind of does in regards to fuel. How much fuel it uses up, and whether it's actually going to be absolutely worth it or not. I'm not really sure. So we'll leave it all running. See, there's one thing I want to do. I want to come back over here. This one is on 98%. And it's 1,000 gallons, I've been told. 1,000 gallons in there, exactly the same as the trailer. So that one also takes 1,000 gallons. You can't quite... Where is it? Why is it sending me over that way? There we go. Right, now I can get in. Yeah, the same as the fuel bowser that we run around with. That is also 1,000 gallons. So if... yeah, one is full and one is empty, you can transfer straight over one to the other without having to go for more loads. That is if you go with a complete full load to start with. Anyway, we will wait and we'll see. So we started that one at 99% and it went to 98%. So the reason I'm leaving it running this time is because I want to see how much it uses up. Because obviously if we just go straight up, we tip and then we run away again, it's going to be processing and doing some work while we're over here doing this little job over here. So there's that one. And if I go this way and then jump into the excavator again, we can keep going. So I'm going to do all of today with, well, from in the excavator, I'm going to do all of today from in the cab, if I can. Because this actually does seem to work reasonably well. I'm quite pleasantly surprised at how well this seems to work. Well, it's not going to work like that. I want to have it down a little bit, so I've sort of got it there, I think, would be about right. And here we go. Right, well, that's no good. I need to get a bigger bucket full. Bring that back round. There we go. That's much better. Proper full bucket full. So I was talking last week about conveyors and whether you could just have, like, leave out the dumper or have, like, conveyors moving to a central point in the quarry, and then, yeah, you have like several conveyors all moving to a central tipping point in the quarry, and then the dumpers just loading from there. Is this done anywhere? Is anything like that done? So is that like a normal thing to see? I did see a video of it, but I didn't know how unusual it was to sort of see something like that. And I've had a lot of answers coming back. A lot of people saying that, well, no, it really is quite unusual. You wouldn't normally see lots of conveyors loading into a central point. You would see pretty much the opposite, really. You would have dumpers moving to a central point and then conveyors going from there to like a processing plant or something like that. However, a few people said that they work in sand and gravel quarries, and apparently in a sand and gravel quarry, that is quite normal. It's far more common to see lots of conveyor belts everywhere, even to the point we don't have any dumpers at all. It's just conveyor belts everywhere, and they move them around as and when they need to for different sands and gravels and so on. I'm not exactly sure of the ins and outs of how it works, but apparently lots and lots of conveyor belts are very common in a sand and gravel quarry. I didn't know that. I had no idea. I didn't know anything about it. So thank you very much for everybody that responded to that and filled me in. Learned something new there. I definitely did. And I haven't actually done it yet, but I do intend to go and start looking up a few YouTube videos of sand and gravel quarries just to sort of see how it all works and see if there's anything that could be done here in this one to sort of imitate that. I realize that we're doing gold, so it's mineral extraction rather than sand and gravel. But, you know, the principles, I think, you know, we could sort of apply some of those principles over onto this one. I don't know how many of those principles could be applied, but I'm sure some of them could. And also, you know, we are quarrying. You know, I know that we're digging, we're mining, but I think that having a slight expansion to this game where you could have sand and gravel quarrying sort of added in as well, I think would be absolutely spectacular. I for one would love to see that sort of as part of like an expansion to this game. They are talking about a dredge, so that you're mining underwater. Well, not mining underwater. You float your barge around on the lake and go and dig up a load of gold sludge from the floor of the lake. And I nearly went off the edge there, didn't I? You sort of go around on the barge and it dredges up a load of mud and stuff from the bottom of the lake and then processes it on board and extracts the ore. I think it does. I'm not actually sure, but I'm pretty sure that a mining barge, dredge barge that does this, it does all of it all in one go. It processes the mud and then it chucks back whatever is no good and separates out. And so you go out with the boat and you come back with gold ore, and you don't come back with a load of extra. That's what I've been led to believe. I haven't actually researched it myself, and I've never seen it myself. So I don't know for certain if this is true or not. This is kind of this is some assumptions that I've made based on reading your various comments. So how accurate is that? Have I got that right? You go out with your barge and onto the water, and then you come back later with lots of gold ore, or, well, some gold ore anyway, mine, you don't have to like bring it back and then process it further once you get it back. Everything is done on board the barge. The whole lot, all the processing, everything is all done on there. I don't know how automated it is. I'm assuming that it's kind of like wavetables and stuff like that, or something similar. There is kind of a similar process involved. I don't really know. A little bit of information on that one would be absolutely fantastic. And I will, obviously, I always read all the comments, and so I will be able to read those comments, and then I can sort of answer your responses next time. I'm not sure, because of how I do all my recording these days, I don't always have a chance to. Sometimes I record all of the weekly episodes before the first one actually goes up, so, bucket is full. I got a feeling that might actually be to say that the bucket is empty rather than full. It might just be that the conveyor belt thing is emptied out. We will have to go and take a look at that and see if that is actually the case or not. I want to try to get this load and one more done, and that will be 4 loads. So basically, we've got 2 lots of buckets out of the duplex jig at the bottom. So if we can take both lots of buckets out, so that'll be 4 buckets done, and then when we come back in next episode, we could get another 3 loads done, although I suspect by that point we'll have just about filled up all of the mats, and it's filling the mats that's kind of important to me. I want to get those mats full, and then once they're done, let me just lower my camera down a little bit, there we go. Filling up the gold mats is kind of the important bit. Once we get those done, I may then do the wash, although I know several people like the idea of me doing a single wash right at the end of the week, so we can sort of do a whole load of mining and then just have one wash at the end. So I might actually do that this week. I haven't sort of properly done it, because last week we spent a lot of time getting the generator and the fuel thing into position. So I've not actually done sort of solid mining for 2 episodes, and then gone back and done a wash on the final day just to kind of get everything out. So maybe we'll do that this week. This might be like the ideal opportunity to do it, because I know that not everybody wants it, so I'm definitely not gonna do this every week, but I think maybe we'll try it this week, because we don't have a loan. Oh, that was another thing. A lot of people, I said about a loan. I wanted to get a loan out and, possibly get a loan like $900,000 so that we could buy everything else and then just sort of go for it and pay our nearly $20,000 in loan repayments per day for the next 60 days. Some of you said yes, go for it. Most of you actually voiced extreme caution at this idea. You didn't like it, and you felt it would be better if we actually earned our money, or it's kind of like defeating the whole object of earning all of our cash, because, we don't want to just be getting it all for free and then paying it back afterwards. And it must be said that a lot of the people I noticed making this response... It's done that thing where it's filled the bucket up again. So if I bring that one out and then over, and I just need to lift it up a little bit higher. It must be said that the people who were making this response seemed to be my age or older. Maybe a little bit younger. So mid-30s or older or over, whichever one you prefer. I was sort of rolling both of them in together there for you. So it seems that a lot of the people who were making this, expressing a little bit of caution and not wanting me to rush in and take a $900,000 loan, a lot of you were older people who have had some life experience. And one thing that I have learned with life, and it seems that a lot of you have learned as well, is that unless you absolutely have to, for goodness sake, don't go getting a loan. Don't take a loan out. You don't need a loan. You don't need to go and buy a new sofa. You don't need to go and buy a new TV just because you can't afford it now and they say buy now and pay later. That's rubbish. What you actually do is you don't buy it now and you pay them 3 times what it cost later. And they want you to do that. They really do. All of these people, they really, really want you to not pay for it now. They want you to pay for it later, because you end up giving them so much more money than you would if you just saved up and bought it off the shelf. The last thing they want you to do is to buy it off the shelf, right? Trust me, they really, really don't. And a lot of you seem to have... I'm pressing the wrong button there. There we go. Experienced the exact same thing in life. And that it is actually far, far better to save up your money. So that's what we're going to do. We are going to save up our money, and we're going to just err on the side of caution this time. We're not going to go and take out a massive, great big loan just in the hope that we might make our fortune. We will get the money first, and then we will buy the stuff that we want. We will do this the sensible way round, rather than mortgaging ourselves up to our eyeballs and then hoping that we can pay everything off each and every day, because you really don't want to do that. Trust me, it's not fun when you suddenly find out that you can't make all of your loan payments because your job's not worked out quite so well. We're down to 94% on that generator over there, so I'm not actually sure if it is worth leaving this to go each time. Maybe it would be better if the first time we unloaded it, then we came back and we started it up and we let it run down a little bit. Although, then you've got to sort of stand around and wait for a bit, haven't you? Let's leave that one going. We'll go and get our next load, and we can bring that one back. Once this next load is processed, we'll then obviously have to change the buckets again. We may also, at that point, have to change the gold mats as well. And if we've got to do that as well, that's going to be it for this episode. Or at least as far as doing mining is concerned. And we'll have to come back to it in tomorrow's episode and do a little bit more. Right, I've got to stop spinning the camera around quite so fast, or it's going to make you all feel quite queasy. Bring that one back round there. There we go. And I'm aware that some of you said, could I please stop driving along this narrow ledge all the time, because quite frankly it's making you nervous. You're fairly certain I'm going to end up driving into it. And yes, there is a good chance that I could end up driving into it. However, it's a risk I'm willing to take. The main reason I don't currently want to do a road to go all the way round is because if you look here, we're sort of right on the edge here, and I felt that a road going all the way round would actually restrict the amount of digging that I could actually do and reach with my excavator here. So for that reason, I decided that I didn't want to do a ring road around this one. I felt that it would be better if we just did it like this. So we'll just start loading up now for our very final load, and there we go. First bucket full. Right. And I'll tell you what, I'm starting to particularly like the in-cab view. I've come around on this one. I didn't like it to start with, but I've now been sold on this by having spent the day today doing this. Comments today as well. What do you think of the in-cab view for driving the excavator? Do you have a personal preference? Do you like to see it outside so that you can see the actual excavator a little bit better, or you're not really bothered? Do you like to see this in-cab view? Because, I mean, this is pretty much what you would see if you're driving. You do have an extra depth of perception in real life when you're operating any kind of machinery. It's the same with the tractors in Farming Simulator. You do get a depth of perception that you don't get in the game, right? In the game, it's a flat 2D picture that you're looking at, whereas in real life, you've got this kind of depth to it all. And it does make a significant difference to sort of judging distances and widths and stuff like that. And I've noticed sometimes when you're in cab, it's dead flat and you really can't judge anything. It's absolutely appalling for trying to judge a distance or make it like an educated guess for getting something in the right place. And then other times, it kind of doesn't really make a lot of difference. And today, I'm kind of noticing that I'm doing all right. Like this. I'm actually able to do this reasonably well without having too much trouble here. I don't really want... I mean, I suppose really I should be just like breaking off the top here a little bit just so that I can see down into the pit I'm digging. And I would be able to lean forward a little bit so that I could see into the pit a little bit better. And one thing that I have noticed, and I think it's kind of similar with this one, is you don't... With your seat, like if I look down... I'm not that... It's not that far out on this one. Farming Simulator is a lot more pronounced. Your head is in the wrong position in the tractor. So that when you look down on your seat, you're actually too far back on your seat. And it is unrealistic. And also, you can't lean forward. Sometimes you do need to lean forward to be able to see what you're doing. And you can't always do that in this one. And that does kind of hold you back a little bit as well. Right, so we've got, I think, one more bucket full, and that is going to be it for today as far as digging is concerned. We'll bring that one in there, just to scrape along the edge a little bit. Ooh, there we go. And Right, so we can take this one back over. We will watch it go through. We're going to check our mats first before I tip this out, just in case the mats need to be emptied out before we start. So there is 100% in there. I will extend that one all the way out as far as it will go and drop it down there. There we go. Right, that'll do. Switch you off. Better leave the handbrake on just in case, and I'll climb out. There we go. And I'll tell you what, we've done several dumper loads out of that pit, and it doesn't look like we've removed a great deal of earth, does it? So we've still got quite a lot to go there before we actually have to move. The one thing I don't like about this game is that it's nearly impossible to move around yourself. It's really difficult to actually move and run around on the clumps of dirt and that. It does make it quite tricky. And then you can also, like, just about fly when you're jumping, and you can jump far further than you would be able to in real life. So I think there could be, like, a little bit of balancing done there on the jumping and moving around and climbing. But overall, we can't really complain too much, can we? Right, if I bring this one up round, I will back it into position. I'm not going to tip it yet. I'm just going to go and check the mats and the buckets under the duplex jig. We've only done 2 loads, haven't we? So it should be okay for it at the moment. So let's just jump out a second. If I can get off. There we go. Come running down here. It's on 92% so far. 80 litres of fuel that's used up. It's quite a bit. And right, that's on 63 and the mats are on 86%. So if we put this last load through, that should be, everything needs to be changed over. We're going to have to rinse the mats out, and we're going to have to do the, what do you call it as well? Rinse the mats out and the buckets under the duplex jig. That's what I mean. Right, tip that one out there. All into that one. It's going to take it, well, it went up to like 80%, but yeah, so 77%, but obviously it's already moving some of it away, so it's not all going to need to be worried about. Lower this one down. I'm only going to just move this one just down the hill a little bit. Bring it down over here. So it's ready to go for next episode. Let me just park it right there. Slide to a halt. Turn the engine off. That's done. Right. Excellent. Now, we've got this one here that needs to run out. It has got 25% left. That's actually almost done. And that one doesn't need refueling yet. Now, the mats are on 92%. The buckets are down on 83%. We still got loads of it going through. I reckon that when this one, it's empty now. Are we going to get the thing to say bucket full, bucket empty, whatever it is? I reckon we will. I reckon this is when it's doing it, is when that last bit. There we go. Bucket is full. And that was the last one that went in. Right, so it actually means bucket is empty, not bucket is full. It's the other way around. And that bit's going through there, so now all I got to do is just run up this way and just check that nothing else is coming out through. I think that's going to be all of it. There's a little bit of gold gone down through there. The mats are on 95, 97%. And the buckets down there are 94% by the look of it. Right, that is everything done there. So I can switch this one off. It's the only one that we've manually got to do. It's a shame we don't have a slightly bigger pump that we can run, you know, electric pump that we could put on there. Just as an extra one. Yeah, we've got enough cable slots for it. We could put one on there. And now when I come over here and I press the master stop. There we go. Everything shuts down together. Now, do you master start or is it not? Oh, I see. Look, you can see there. You can see an animation. Look. Just look, all of those buttons are pushing together all at the same time. So that's how the master stop works. Pushes all the buttons. So you do have to go back through and you've got to reload them all individually. Right, our last task of the day today is jump down over there and we're going to grab, hang on, let's just see what the percentages are. 94 and then those are 94 through to 97 on the mats. So everything is ready to be changed over. I want to take that one out. So this is 4 buckets over here that are ready to go through the magnetite separator. And we've got, well, I think that lump of tailings was there already. Grab that bucket as well and bring this over here. So we've got our tailings over here. Not tailings, stuff to go through the magnetite separator is over there. I've got some empty buckets here. I'll put one in there and I'm going to grab another empty bucket and I'm going to put into this side here. There we go. Right, now I'm going to take a bucket of water. I've got 4 buckets of water altogether. 3 buckets of water will do 2 rinsings. Because you can put 4 mats in each bucket. So we want 2 buckets up here. I'm actually going to take 1 up here. I'm going to run down here. This is how we do. We've sort of established a fairly quick way of doing this now. You take 1 grill off and you put 1 bucket up there. So then you can come over and you grab the mat like that and rinse. You've only got to rinse once. Any more is pointless. So then you look there. See, it's already gone down to 0%. You don't take the mat at the bottom. You lift the mat at the top. You try to, and it doesn't work. Right over the very edge. Right, it's not working. Oh, there we go. The only issue that we've got really is those mats do behave in a very peculiar fashion when you're trying to take them off. But then we take the grill and we put the new grill on there. And I go like that. Actually, that worked out all right on that bottom one. So there's that one rinse. And I can do one more rinse. Just go up a little bit. There we go. Just grab the very bottom of it by the look of it. One more rinse in there. So there's 4 mats have been rinsed off in that bucket. Put that one back there. I can take this bucket. And this one I'm going to put down over here. That one is washing. So that one's not going to go through the magnetite separator. That's washed out stuff to go into there. So then I want another bucket of water. And I bring this one up. And this one will do 2. So then we can put through another 6 loads. We could put 6 more loads in through the plant. If we could do like 4, maybe 5 tomorrow, we may even be able to get 6 done tomorrow. So we get 2 more lots of buckets underneath because it's 3 lots of buckets. Right, there we go. Grab that one. 3 dumper loads make 2 buckets from underneath the duplex jig. So if we then do that, and then we do 3 more dumper loads tomorrow, that will be 4 buckets from the duplex jig. So that will make 8 buckets over there from under the duplex jig. And we will do another load of rinsing as well. So this one here, that we've only got 2 out of at the moment, will then fill up and will go again. So I'm going to put that one there. That one is the one that we want to use again. No, I don't want to put it there. I'm a bit concerned of where to leave this one. We'll leave that one there. So that one's like a partially done one. And we grab this and we run back up here with the grill and we put that one back on. Right, the grills are all in place. We've moved all of the buckets out. We've got 4 here. So if we can do 6 loads tomorrow, 6 loads with a dumper tomorrow, that will give us another 4 buckets from under the duplex jig. And it should also give us another lot of mats to rinse out, which will be 2 more into that one to complete that bucket full. And then 1 more bucket of water, which we got there, we can put up on top and we get another 4. So we've got 3 buckets of rinsings to do. And we'll also have 8 buckets here to run through the magnetite separator and then the wavetable. And we'll do all of that on the final episode of the week. But that really is all we got time for today. So if you enjoyed this episode, then please head down below and give us a like. And if you really enjoyed it, then please tell your friends all about me. Get them to come and watch as well. That would be awesome. But until next time, thank you very much for watching. This is Frithgar. Goodbye, and see you later.